Before we get into today's episode, if you own a rental property and you haven't done a cost segregation study, you're overpaying taxes. DIY Cost Seg gets you an official report in 5 minutes. Starting at $4.95. Use code Creative Closer to save $50 on residential studies or Creative Closer C to save $100 on commercial. Go to DIYcostseg.com.
Thank you, Henry. I'm so excited to have you with me, the Henry Washington, as Instagram says.
That's right. You get to pick your own name, so you're welcome.
You're like, okay, well, I'm going to make myself sound real good. I love it. Well, today we're talking about creative financing, and I know it's a big part of your business. And I just thought it would be cool if you could tell people a little bit about what you do in relation to creative financing.
Yeah, for me, all financing is a tool in the tool belt. So,
Yeah.
even in the world of bank financing, there's a million different types of loans. And the way I like to approach each deal is not about me, but it's about what can I do for the seller? Because the goal is for me to help the seller. And by helping the seller, sometimes you get a good deal out of it. And so, having access to multiple tools is more beneficial. And so we've used the
Yeah.
creative finance tool several times, mostly specifically in the area of owner finance. That's really all I've done in the creative space, and it has been when I get a
Great for
good
you
good
guys.
owner finance deal, is it's chef's kiss.
Today's episode is brought to you by Axiom Wealth. Their clients have often reached financial freedom years ahead of schedule, not by working harder, but with smarter tax strategies and alternative investments. Get started at axiomwealth.com.
Yeah. Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about what your business looks like today. Because I was reading the back of your book,
Yeah.
because you're kind of like one of my marketing like competition, I guess. I think our books are
Mm,
really different, but it
yeah.
came up as one of the options. And so I was doing a lot of marketing study, and I was like, what? How do you have 100 doors? I thought you had like 70 or something, but the back of your
Yeah.
book says 100. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you deal with that?
Um, well, I'd gotten up to somewhere around 130, and then I've been
Wow.
selling some.
Yeah.
Um, and part of it is kind of what you alluded to. How do you deal with that? What I started to
Yeah.
realize was big portfolios have big portfolio problems.
Heck yeah. Small
And that
portfolios have big portfolio problems.
yeah. And it gets expensive when things don't go well. And
Yeah.
so it caused me to evaluate and figure out, all right, well, what am I trying to get to, right? And for me, it's a certain amount of cash flow, net cash flow each month, so that I don't have to do anything if I don't want to, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then I had to take a look at, okay, well, how do I get there? Because I can get there by buying more doors, right? But
Yeah.
your net cash flow is smaller because you're leveraged, and then there's more risk. Or I can get there by owning the doors I like the most. So owning a smaller portfolio, but owning them free and clear. And so
Okay.
I've been shifting as of late. Um, I'm comfortable with my portfolio size, but I'd like to get a good chunk of it paid off. And so 2026 goals is to pay off 2 properties. But in the next 10 years, I want to pay off at least a third of my portfolio is the long-term goal.
Okay, so this is really interesting and
Yeah.
relevant because yesterday I was speaking with Shelby Johnson. I don't know if you
Mm.
know her, but she's on the
Mhm.
Bigger Pockets world, kind of more in the veteran space. And she built up to about 70 doors. And now she sold a lot of portfolio and she's starting to pay things off. And I was
Yeah.
talking to her and I was going, why pay things off? Like you could use that money. Like, isn't part of what we do as real estate investors leverage and then
Yeah.
use that money to invest in other things that are going to make more money than whatever your interest rate was?
Yeah.
So I want to hear from you because for her, I think it was really like, screw it. It's just the lifestyle. I want to sleep good at night and I don't really care what everybody wants to do? But I'm
Yeah.
I'm curious about you because you're very wise, and I feel calculated. You're not just like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this thing." I feel like you thought about it a lot.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. there are probably smarter ways to approach this from an investment standpoint, right?
Yeah.
If you're looking at this as I'm just trying to get the best return on my investments, yeah, absolutely. There are smarter ways to take the money that's coming in that I'm using to pay off and then like reinvest that to give me other forms of income. But at the end of the day, it's still all a chase, right? It's a chase to get to something. And that
Yeah.
something is cash in your bank account, right? It's just how are you choosing to get there? Um, and what I want to do is twofold. I want to be able to not have to chase anything if I don't want to, right?
Mm,
Which requires me to have
amen.
income without having to work for it.
Yeah.
And B, I'm an old dog now. Like I don't wanna
Never,
go
never.
I don't wanna go learn what it's gonna take to learn other investing strategies to take that money, right?
Yeah.
Like, so if I wanna take that
Mhm.
money out of real estate and put it into the stock market, like, I don't have the level of comfortability with understanding that side of things, how it all works
Yeah.
to have the level of confidence I do in real estate. So there's a learning curve. But take all that
Sure.
aside, my other reason for doing this is my real goal is I want my kids to be able to be the people they're called to be and not the people they have to be for money. And so
Mm.
what I don't want to do is pass them a job. I want to pass
Yeah.
them paid off assets that pay them income. That way, if they have a desire to do something that's important to them, but doesn't pay a lot of money, they get to go do that because this portfolio pays them money. Like I want to pass off, that people use the term generational wealth so frivolously. But if
Yeah.
you're
I
truly
kinda
going
don't
to
like it.
give somebody right. If you're truly gonna give somebody that, you've gotta give them paid off assets. It's gotta be something
Mm.
that's not a thing they have to go put a bunch of work into to reap the benefits of it. So,
Yeah.
the goal is pay off as many assets as I can that I can give to my family, and they can do with what they please. If they need money, they've got money coming in. That I feel like that's my job, if that makes sense.
There's a bunch of stuff there, but the
Yeah,
thing that stood out to me the most is, like, not wanting to chase things, and
yeah.
for me, 2025, I felt like I was chasing hard, and I kept telling
I felt like I
myself,
was
like,
chasing my tail.
yeah, that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever it was, I don't know, I never caught it, so I
Yeah,
can't tell
right.
you. But for me, it was really like I kept telling myself, "Well, it sucks now, but it'll be better. I'll just
Right.
get over this hump and it's gonna be better." But I just kept going from feeling sucky to feeling sucky because it
Mhm,
just was the next goal unwinding itself.
mhm,
And so I realized, like, no, I'm doing it all wrong. I'm setting all these really high bars and then I'm just not feeling good about myself. And so this year, I'm really deciding that I want to see how I feel and like
mhm,
make my intentions based on how I want to feel rather than what, X amount of doors, so many
mhm,
sales, all this kind of stuff. So
mhm.
I'm doing it differently this year. So I appreciate hearing that. It seems like
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. Yeah.
Nah, absolutely.
Okay, I want to talk about the girls because I think this is really interesting. It's an interesting like I don't know, delicate rope to walk there because you don't necessarily want to take away someone's ambition or their ability to create something in their life by giving them everything.
Yeah.
So like what are their ages now? Remind me and I'd love to hear what you're teaching them.
7 and 5. Um,
Okay, so still really young. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I understand that, right? Because there are a lot of people that are on the boat like, "Hey, we can't give them everything because then they don't take care of the things that you give them. They didn't have to earn them." Right?
Yeah.
But what I really hear when people say that is I've got to teach my kids how to be responsible. I've got to teach them how to be responsible with money. I've got to teach them how to make money. I've got to teach them how to be upstanding citizens. I've got like, and when people say, well, I don't want to give them things because they won't know how to earn it, that's not
Yeah.
true. No,
Yeah.
that's not true. What you're really saying is, I don't want to give them things and teach them how to act or how to go earn things themselves. Like, it's the 2 things are different. I can
Yeah.
give them things and teach them how to go earn things on their own. Like, you can do both things.
Yeah.
And so it's our responsibility to make sure that our children know how to go out and survive and earn money
Mhm.
and be responsible with money. Whether you give them money or not, that's still your responsibility. And
Yeah.
so if I got to teach them how to do that anyway, I'm going to teach them and give them assets.
Yeah, why
Period.
not?
Period.
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting when they're young, they come out with a personality, right? And so
Hmm.
you can start to see certain things they're drawn to. Do you see them being interested in aspects of real estate? Because there are lots of slices. You could be
Hmm.
excited about design, you could be excited about hospitality, you could be excited about creating deals or negotiation.
Yeah.
So, are
The
there things, or do you think it's really not their thing?
My oldest is the only one that's shown some interest in what I
Mm.
do. Like, she likes to go with me and look at houses and tell me where things should
Yeah.
go and why things look silly where they currently that shouldn't be there. This shouldn't, she's so like I
Cool.
can see some of the design aspects coming out in her.
Mm. Yeah.
My youngest is like we call her a bebopper. She just bebops and does whatever she wants to do. Who knows what she'll be into. It's
Okay, she's
whatever
gonna be the
she's into in
artist.
that moment.
Yeah,
She's just
great.
she's Evie gonna Evie. She's gonna do what she wants to do when she wants to do it, how she wants to do it. So I don't know what that
Sweet.
child is gonna is gonna become. Um
Yeah.
and and my oldest is she's a performer. She wants to make people smile and make them happy, and so I don't really know
Mm.
if they'll be into any part of this business. If they are, cool, I'll be happy to help them and show them. But if they aren't, I'm cool with that too. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what they're gonna do.
Okay, I have a couple more questions about how, because I think it's really cool. People don't talk about what they're teaching their kids that often, and I think it's
Yeah.
an interesting thing. What are you showing them or teaching them about ambition? Because I see you as a really ambitious guy. You're like,
Mhm.
you say you're an old dog, but it takes a lot to get 130 properties and then
Yeah.
be teaching on stages and writing a book and having, a community. There's so many things that you do. Um, but I think a lot of us can get to a place of doing too much. And so how do we show them balance as well, right? It's like,
Yeah.
don't do what I did because I burnt out.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it is leading by example and communication. So I think the one thing that we do well, meaning my wife and I do well, is we talk to each other about everything.
Yeah.
We have conversations about, am I doing too much? How do we scale back? How does she help me scale back if that's what needs to happen? How do I help support her in what she wants to do? And we don't hide those conversations from our kids. And so they're around when we're having them. They're not like, actively engaging and involved in the conversation, but it's not something that's
Yeah.
happening behind closed doors. I felt like my parents, whenever they had serious conversations, it was never around us, um,
Yeah.
right, wrong, or indifferent. And so, leading by example. And I think kind of what we teach my oldest is really the one that's kind of most impacted by these lessons, but she's involved in a lot. She's involved in
Yeah.
dance, and at one point she was doing dance, she was doing ballet, she was doing gymnastics, she was doing um, basketball, um, a- and then she was doing soccer, and so we involve her in some of those decisions now, right? Where like now that she's
Yeah.
tried all these things, when we were first trying, we didn't ask her, we were just throwing you out there and things. But now that she's tried all
Yeah.
these things, it's been more of a conversation at the beginning of the year, like, hey, what do you want to do? She's played basketball 2 years now. I don't think she really likes it, but she knows I like it, and her and her friends
Oh.
play. So,
Yeah.
she played for 2 years, but now it's conversations about, okay, these are all the things that
Yeah.
you've done. What is it that you want to do? And understanding that once we say yes, this is a commitment you have to stick to, right? And then, that's been like she's doing competitive dance now, and that's really all she's focused on. But it's a lot in that competitive dance, but it's a
Yeah.
choice she was involved in making the decision. So when she doesn't want to go to practice, we have the reminders about those conversations. We scaled back on some other things, and then we picked up the dance and the competitive dance. And I think that's how she's starting to learn like how do you commit to things? You only wanna commit to things you feel like you can and want to do, and
Yeah.
then if I say yes, then I do it, and so, hopefully those lessons are sinking in.
That's cool. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it. I'm curious about your relationship to money and like how you were raised because I've seen you in person so many times and you're always dressed really like well put together. And you've posted online about Gucci and you like some of the nicer brands.
Mhm.
Did you grow up with money? Did you grow up around
No.
that or was it like I
Yeah.
had none and now I finally have some and it feels really good?
No, said differently, I didn't grow up without money. I would say I was middle class, maybe upper middle class. But my
Yeah.
parents worked hard. My father was a high school teacher and then had side hustles to make extra money because teachers didn't make that much money. So he owned a barbecue restaurant for 10 years while he was teaching. He owned an arcade.
Okay.
He owned,
Entrepreneurial stuff. I like
yeah.
it.
And my mother was the head of waste management for Kern County where we live. So she had a very, she had a city job, but
Mhm.
very corporate world, working for the city and the county. And so they worked hard, um, but they made decent money. I had everything I needed and most of what I wanted growing up. And I think the problem that created for me was that once I got out on my own, I wanted the lifestyle that my parents afforded me, that they worked so hard for, before I had earned it, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So I had
Yeah.
some
I think
I
that's
str
every college
yeah,
kid's problem.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I struggled with entitlement. I felt entitled to these things that I hadn't earned yet, um,
Yeah.
which caused me to have bad spending habits, before I got into investing. So that was more so the relationship with money. What I've found in my wiser older days is, and also with growing up, like if you wanted nice clothes, they had to be expensive, right? Like you got made fun of for wearing the clothes from Walmart. But like now,
Yeah.
everybody has generic clothes and no one makes fun of you for wearing anything. And so now I just buy clothes. I found a website where I can get really nice clothes really, really inexpensively. And so I don't spend a lot on clothes anymore.
Okay, you're gonna text me
It's
that because 'cause I'm always
so,
trying to find good stuff for my husband, and it's a little challenging
it's
for
so,
men.
yeah. So like I can spend $200, get 4 or 5 pairs of jeans, 4 or 5 shirts and be solid now, you know?
Okay.
Uh, I do like designer shoes, but the reason I like designer shoes is because I have huge feet, and I
Okay.
can't find shoes that fit me. Like, I can't just go to the
Yeah.
regular store like everybody and be like, "I'll take that in a size 12," and then walk out with everything you want. Like, if I go to the
Yeah.
store, they only have, like, 3 pairs of shoes that fit me, and they're all hideous. So,
Yeah.
Gucci is
Okay.
one of the very few brands that actually makes shoes in my size, and and I'm hard on shoes, so they actually last me a while. So, I'll spend a little more on shoes.
Okay. Well, that's good balance. That's what I'm
Mhm.
hearing?
Yeah.
Okay, so how does that translate to your kids then? Do you feel like they are starting to have some entitlement or that they want, like,
Hell
fancier
yes.
things?
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
I had a feeling they're getting a little spoiled, but you're trying not to
Hell
do that.
yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, yeah, uh, they are definitely spoiled, and it's our job to show them how fortunate they are. They
Yeah.
don't understand that, you know, they get to do things and own and have things that other people don't get to do or have. And so we try to make sure that we involve them in things that sheds a light on those things. So during Christmas time, we partner with our church to find families who need help with Christmas gifts, within our
Mm,
church,
yeah.
and so we'll get a shopping list and we take them shopping and have them pick out the things. And they ask a lot of questions like, "Why are we buying presents for these families?" And so we get to help them understand like what we're doing and why we're doing it. And then they have some. It's tough for them because they pick all these toys and things that they don't get to have. They have to give away, but that's good for them as they start to understand. So we do
Yeah.
that at Christmas time.
That's sweet.
And Thanksgiving, like this past Thanksgiving, we bought groceries for families who need it. And then prior to that, when there was a big scare about SNAP benefits, we went shopping and held an event where we raised had people. The cost of entry was prepackaged foods that we could give away, and so my kids were involved
Mm,
in that, and so they're getting to see through helping others that not
yeah.
everybody has the things that you just get to open the pantry and have. So it's a
Mm,
balance.
that's super cool. Yeah, do you actually get to see the families and, like, deliver the things, or is it more just, like, hypothetical, like, it all just goes into the bin at church and
No, we actually so for the Christmas, we typically see the families and bring them the gifts. It's more of
cool,
an
that's great.
anonymous thing. The church just kind of says, "Hey, this is the person that's kind of said they need some help," and so then we have
Yeah,
conversations to say, how many kids, what sizes, yada yada yada, and we go take care of
yeah.
that. So it's a little more personal. At Christmas, the food drives and stuff less personal, but we did some of that stuff goes to food banks or to the church, and it's just kind of a bank of things. We don't give it to somebody specifically.
Quick break to talk about something I genuinely think every investor listening to this show should know about. You're out there getting creative with how you acquire deals. Seller financing, subject to lease options, and that's all great. But are you being just as creative on the tax side? Cost segregation is one of the most powerful tools real estate investors never use. And it's because people think it's expensive and complicated. DIY cost seg killed that excuse. Starting at $4.95, you can get an official cost segregation report in 5 minutes, not weeks. Not after a $5,000 bill from a tax engineer. 5 minutes. And as a listener of the show, use code Creative Closer at checkout to save $50 on residential studies, or Creative Closer C to save $100 on commercial studies. If you've got a rental, an STR, a multifamily, run the numbers before you file this year. Go on DIYcoseg.com.
That's great. Okay, I'm gonna go back to creative financing because that's why we're here. But
Yeah.
I love to talk about money because I grew up poor and I've had all kinds of weird money things that I've had to work through, and I still have them coming up. So
Mm-hmm.
I like to learn from my smart friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great ideas.
Yeah. Well, okay, with creative financing, I'm curious how you heard about it. Like, were you
Uh-huh.
doing real estate for a little while before it came up as specifically seller financing, it sounds like,
Hmm.
because that's what you use?
Yeah, it's something I learned about as I was researching real estate investing, but didn't actually put into practice until about my second year into the business when I did my first owner finance deal. And so I had researched it, but hadn't put it into practice, frankly, because it kind of sounds ridiculous when you read about it. You're like, somebody would do that. And
Yeah, and it sounds scary to ask for
yeah,
because it's
yeah,
ridiculous, right? You're like,
yeah.
"Oh god, is someone gonna just laugh in my face right
Right.
now?" Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, I researched it, and then my business partner at the time I believe he had done a deal like that before, and so I was able to talk to him about it, and we kind of talked through how to pitch it. And so, we pitched it. I think the very first time I ever pitched it, it worked. Uh,
Wow.
uh, but
You
I've
hear about that never.
I've evolved uh, as an investor and have learned some things along the way, and so now how we pitch it is different. But um, yeah, it was something I just kind of studied and learned and talked to a business partner about, and then gave it a shot.
Cool. Do you remember any details about that first deal? And if not, maybe you could just tell us kinda how
Mhm.
you were doing it and then how you do it now.
Yeah, the first deal we ever bought on owner finance was a duplex. Um, and uh, the seller obviously owned the property free and clear. He was an old retired landlord, and he wanted to sell, and he was selling to pay off, to help his daughter pay off some credit card debt. And so um, we had talked to him about selling, and then when we made our offer, he went and talked to his tax guy, and his tax guy, because he wanted to know what the implications would be. And then he kind of came back
Yeah.
and he was like, "Well, I like your offer, but concerned about the taxes." And that's when I kind of talked to my business partner, and he was like, "This is something that we can pitch." And so we pitched to owner finance. Um, and giving him a down payment of enough to cover his daughter's credit card debt, and then giving him terms uh, that he wanted to cover the rest. And he sent that to his tax guy. His tax guy was like, "Yeah, this is better," and he signed the deal. And it was
Sweet.
pretty incredible.
Now, is that the one that you mentioned in the book? I
Mhm.
don't know if you even remember.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So people
Yes.
can see that. That's the
Yeah,
overcoming
all the
common
details are in the
objections
book, yes.
section. Yeah, totally. I love that. Well, I love that that was your first deal and that it
Very
all
first
came
one.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah, crazy. So tell me a little bit about how you did it in the past and how you do it differently now that's
yeah.
worked better for you.
Yeah, what I focus on now is, so I look for the green flags, right? What are the indicators that this would make a good owner finance deal? And so for
Yeah.
me, the green flags are, um, it's paid off or mostly paid off. That's green flag number 1. Green flag number 2 is, uh, the big green flag for me is if the seller is also a landlord, because then they're
Yeah.
accustomed to knowing what investing is and they're accustomed to cash flow, right? And
Yeah.
so the concept of taking payments instead of getting paid out isn't foreign to them. So I love pitching it to retiring landlords because a lot of the
Yeah.
times they don't want to give
They're
up their
probably
cash
over
flow.
it.
They just are retiring because they don't want to deal with the problems and they don't have a family member who wants to start taking over the problems. But
Yes.
they love the cash flow. So that's a big green flag for me. And the oh goodness, I'm drawing a blank. The other green flag is what did I say? Paid off, landlords. Um, there's one more that I'll remember soon. But
Yeah.
once I see that, okay, this. Oh, sorry, and the condition of the property. So for me, if it's in so much disrepair that I'm going to have to spend 50, 60, 70, $80,000 remodeling that house, I'm probably not going to pitch owner financing because I'd rather get a loan from the bank that's going to give me the repair money that I
Yeah.
can use to renovate the property. Because if I pitch owner financing, I'm not going to get repair money. I'm to come out of my pocket on the repair money. So I may get a great deal on the owner finance, but then I gotta fund that renovation on my own. So it depends on the condition of the property. But if I get the green flags and I pitch it, what we do differently now is I think people forget what the first word in owner finance is because the first word in owner finance is owner. So
Yeah.
your terms, what you're offering, it's not it's not buyer finance, right? So the terms and what
Mm.
you're offering are not about you. This isn't about you. It's not about what you want for your financing for this deal. It's about can you give the seller what they want in the terms, and then you tweak the remaining levers in your favor. So when I'm looking at an owner finance deal now, I look at the levers we have control over, which is purchase price, interest rate, amortization schedule, um, down payment, right, and your balloon. So
Yeah.
you've got those levers. And for me, it's figuring out what is it that the seller needs. In this situation for the first deal, the seller needed some cash because he needed to pay his daughter's credit card debt and he wanted a certain amount of money a month in a payment. He specifically said, if I can keep getting as much as I'm getting now in rents and I get the down payment that I need, then I'm good. And so my goal from there was okay, I know he's getting about $750 a month, and I know he needs about 15,000 or 10,000, I can't remember what it was, dollars to
And
pay
he
off the
wants his
credit card debt.
tenants to stay.
Yeah, right, yes, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wanted his tenant to stay. She's a sweet old lady. So now I know those things, which means now I can
Yeah.
go figure out how to give him those 2 things, and then I can tweak the amortization schedule, I can tweak the interest rate, I can tweak the balloon, all of those in my favor to come up with a win-win scenario for financing. And so that's how I approach owner financing now or seller financing now is I figure out what is it that the seller needs. The next deal, the last deal that I offered on, the seller wanted he told me, he was like, "Henry, I have money. I'm selling this because I need money. So I don't care about a down payment. All I want is I gotta sell it. He was like, I can't take anything less than 210 for this. Right. It was like
Mhm.
210 or 220. Like it was important to him that he got his number. Whether
Which it
we
usually
yeah,
is for
right.
sellers. They're really
Uh,
stuck on that, and then they're not thinking about all the other
and
parts.
then he said, I want $1,400 a month. So I get to go figure out, okay, how do I pay you $1,400 a month at a purchase price of 220? The rest of the
Yeah,
levers I can tweak in my favor. So I ended up with basically a loan with very, very little interest and a short amortization period. And that allowed me to pay him
yeah.
$1,400 a month and pay 220 for the property. So that's how we approach it. It's figuring out what the seller wants, turning those levers up in their favor, and then the other levers in mine.
Can you explain? Because I just feel like some people are gonna wanna know, how is it tax advantaged for the seller to do it in installments?
Well, the government is going to get their pound of flesh. So
Yeah,
let's put that out there. They're going to get their money. But what happens when a seller sells an investment property specifically, something they're not living in, is they have to pay capital gains, either short term or long term, most likely long term, because they've probably owned the property for a good bit of time since it's mostly paid off, right? Which means, sorry, uh, which means that they are going to get hit with a capital gains tax, which is pretty substantial, typically somewhere around between 30 and 40 some odd percent that they're going to have to pay out of the money that they make in taxes for that tax year and the year that they sold it. So that bill is coming about a year from when they sell the property. And
yeah.
most people, if they're selling because they need money, spend that money and then are stuck with a large bill and don't know how to pay it, right?
Mm,
Because that bill comes later. And so it's a
yeah,
scary thing for people when they realize that they're going to get hit with this tax burden. And so by selling it on terms or by selling it via owner finance, they're not taking a lump sum payment. They're actually it's almost as seem like they're not really selling the property. They only have to pay taxes on the income that they get uh, over the course of the
yes.
year. And so essentially they're only getting income each month, right? And so
Plus the down
they
payment.
plus the down payment. So they pay their taxes on the income that they actually receive. So
Yeah.
just because they've signed the papers to sell the property to you for a certain period of time, they're actually only getting a certain amount of money each month, and that's the only taxable income they have from the sale. So it's a substantially less burdensome tax implication.
Yeah, and especially if they were renting it before, it's probably
Hmm.
pretty similar to what they've been
Yes.
paying in taxes
Yep.
minus whatever the down payment was, so,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, great. So what percentage would you say in your acquisitions now is owner financing or versus the bank? I feel like you have a really sweet deal with, like, a local bank or something.
Yeah, I do. I do. I would less than 10% ends up owner
Yeah,
financed. Most of it ends up on a with a community bank loan or a private money lender.
yeah,
And that's mostly because I'm buying less holds now and flipping more
yeah,
houses, like I said, because I'm paying off. If I was buying more holds to keep, and don't get me wrong, if I find a sweet hold and I can get owner finance on it, I'll take it all day. But I'm not
yeah.
actively growing my portfolio anymore. So there's just less deals I'm looking to do seller financing on because on a flip, it doesn't make a ton of sense.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your business now. Like, what does it look like? You're mostly wanting to flip homes. What kind of volume are you doing of that?
Yeah, we flip somewhere between 10 and 20 houses a year. And the flip income is technically what we use to live off of. So
Hmm.
I try not to touch any of my cash flow. I kind of let that just be, and then reinvest it in paying down assets, and then taking a percentage of the flip income and putting it towards paying down assets, and then living off the rest is kind of what the business looks like now. So we're generating leads off market, direct to seller. We're buying everything that's a decent deal, and then we're monetizing it usually through a flip or some sort of wholesale. I don't do any assignments or wholesaling.
Okay. So why, like, I mean, you know so much about real estate now. Why still flip? Do you feel like that's just where your zone of genius is? Because that is in the short term capital gains bucket, right? So it's
Yeah.
active income,
Hmm.
you get taxed highly on it.
Hmm.
And maybe at this point you can't lose your shirt. But there is a lot of risk often
Hmm.
with flipping, especially in a market like right now where things don't sell that fast. or that it's
Yeah,
going down in price.
yeah, there absolutely is a lot of risk. That's why you gotta be very, very disciplined in your underwriting and the offers you make, um, because I want a lot of margin on deals that I do so that
Yeah.
if they don't work out at what I underwrote them at and I sell them for less, sometimes substantially less, I still end up making money. Which means I have to make offers lower than most of my competition, which means I probably have to make twice as many offers as everybody else to get the same amount of deals. So that's where that part is. But you asked why flip? Yes. So here's the overarching strategy, right? So real estate investing is in three buckets, right? And everybody investing in real estate falls into these three buckets, typically mostly in one to two of those buckets. So across real estate investing, you have your growth bucket. So this is when you're getting started, you're growing, you're trying to build a portfolio. Then you have your stabilization bucket. That's you stabilizing the assets so that they actually perform at what you underwrote them to perform. And then you've got your protection bucket. That means you have to protect your assets so that no one can take them from you, right? All three of us have to deal with all three of these buckets. Typically, when you're starting out, you're like 80%, 90% in the acquisition bucket, 10%, 20% in the stabilization bucket. So you're buying, you're using leverage, you're trying to stabilize, right? And
Yeah.
then at some point, you'll figure out, all right, I have enough assets. I need to continue to stabilize them, and then I need to start paying them off to protect them because if you've bought an asset with leverage, your bank can call the note due. They just can. Will they do it? Who knows? But you don't
Yeah,
technically
probably
own
not.
it. You don't technically
Yes.
own it.
Yeah.
Um, if something I've had friends who've had banks call their notes due for silly reasons, right? Like you don't
Yeah.
have control over that.
Moving it into an
Right.
LLC or something.
Yep.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so uh and so you got to protect that asset. The only way to truly protect that asset is to pay it off or to have enough money in the bank to be able to pay it off if the bank calls the note due. That's the only way
Yeah.
to protect that asset. So across all three of those buckets, you need one thing. You need money, right? You need money to
Yeah.
buy, you need money to stabilize, you need money to pay them off. And so you've got to have an income stream across all three of those buckets so that you can get to your end goal. That income stream for me is flipping. It makes the most sense. It's within the real estate niche. I have the skills to be able to do it. I have the crews to be able to do it. I have the knowledge to be able to do it. My business is set up to be able to do it. It is the easiest way for me to generate the income necessary for me to stay afloat in my real estate business. Can I make
Yeah.
money other ways? Sure. Do I make money other ways? Sure. But that's and so the goal is the more I pay off, the more unleveraged cash flow I have, which is substantially higher than leveraged cash flow. If I'm making $200 a door on a leveraged property, when I pay it off, it turns into 1200, 1300, 1500
Yeah.
unleveraged cash flow, right? So the more assets I pay off, the less houses I need to flip. So I'm trying to work myself out of a job by paying off assets because at some point I'm not going to want to flip houses anymore. I'm just going to be tired of it, but I want to have enough paid off assets that my income can support me never having to flip a house again. That's the
Yeah.
goal.
So, I mean, let's just say hypothetically you've got like a 6% loan.
Mhm,
Now, it doesn't bother you to pay down that 6% loan when you could be investing that money at 8%, like just in the stock market in an index fund, something you don't need to know anything about, or at like a syndication, which is still real estate, but you may still need to learn about it.
mhm.
But that could maybe get you a 20% return. But you're choosing the house, and I'm curious why. I find that at my stage, I find them kind of annoying, and I'm almost at a place of like, my stabilization might look like selling houses and then putting that money into more passive things. And so
Yeah,
I'm curious, why double down on paying off the house?
yeah. That's awesome. Um, great strategy for certain people.
Yeah.
I love providing housing to my community. I
Mm.
love revitalizing neighborhoods and offering
Yeah.
properties back to the neighborhood and not pricing people out of their communities. I just love real estate. I do. I don't love the
Mm.
stock market. Yeah, it's cool to throw
Yes.
money at it and it throws money back at you, but I don't love it. It's I don't know, man. None of this has really ever been about how do I make the most money. This has always been about like how do I reach my goals of providing income to my family and how do I make an impact on my community, and how do I get the warm fuzzies from doing it? Like, it's just
Yeah, how do you
that's what I
serve?
want. Yeah, that's
I
just what
like
I
it.
want. Like, so
Okay.
I don't know, houses don't bother me. Like, yeah, they suck
Yeah,
sometimes, but so does the stock market sometimes. Like, yeah,
sure.
you're not guaranteed that 10 to 12% return, and you don't have any control over it, right? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just not my thing.
Well, and it seems like you guys have access. Like, it's like you understand the mechanics of a house more than a lot of people. Like,
Mhm,
anytime something goes wrong for me, I have to call the guy that's like $75 an hour. You
mhm.
probably have like all these crews on hand. You might even know how to fix some stuff yourself. I don't know.
I fix nothing. No, that is not me. I'm not
Okay,
that guy.
great. Great.
Not that guy. I guarantee you,
Yeah.
you are handier than me.
Okay, love it. Love to hear it.
Guarantee.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I guess I just have this idea that because you guys do so many flips, you're just not like as uh I don't know, like gosh, I can't come up with a word, but just like intimidated by a house,
No, no,
you
no.
know?
Yeah, no.
Like you're kind of just like, okay, I know what all these things cost. It's good. We'll keep it up. It's going to be fine.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm doing my first renovation now. I've told myself I would just avoid it like the dang plague. And it's the only way that we could afford a primary home in this expensive ass market we live in.
Yeah,
So I mean, we've owned townhomes and condos and whatever, but to get a house. And
yeah.
so, of course, what we thought would be this cute, like $150,000 reno, when it's all said and done with the furniture and the outdoor space, I mean, we're probably going to be 350 into the deal,
Well, that's because you
So
bougie, see?
it is because I'm bougie, and then I'm going to rent the shit out of it on Airbnb, and it's going to be fine. But yeah, it's just, the numbers get real in the more expensive markets. I
Yeah.
think when you talk about, "Oh, if I have to put 50 to 80K," I'm like, what is that, like a doorknob? Like, what do
Yeah.
you mean? How can you do any renovation for 50K? Please.
Oh,
Not in this
man.
market. Ugh.
Yes, the benefits of living in Middle America.
Yeah. Okay, so you were talking about all these things you love that real estate gives you. What do you love that you do now? Are there aspects of flipping that you love, or
Oh, yeah.
teaching, or writing, or
Yeah,
being on a ton of podcasts? I saw your schedule. You got like
yeah,
podcasts up the woo.
yeah. Uh, I hate writing, um,
Okay.
uh, but if I was asked to do it again, I would.
Okay.
Um, I just feel like that's a responsibility of mine. If I have the
Hmm.
opportunity, there are people who write books for a living who struggle to find someone to publish a book for them or allow them to write and make money off of their
Yeah.
book. And I'm fortunate enough that a publisher came to me and said, "We would like you to write this book to help people." And
Yeah.
I feel like it would be irresponsible of me not to do that. So, if given the opportunity again, I would do it. Don't love the process, not my favorite thing to do, but I do love teaching and helping people. Um,
Yeah.
um, what do I do that I love? I love helping my students. Um, get deals done, helping them
Yeah.
realize that the only thing really stopping them was themselves. Like, it wasn't their lack of
Yeah.
knowledge of how to do it. It wasn't that they didn't have enough money. It wasn't that they didn't know how to find deals. It was just they were in their own heads and they needed somebody to say, "Yeah, that's just do that. Just do it. You're fine. You just do it."
Yeah.
It's a single family home. No one's gonna die. You'll be fine. You're not gonna go bankrupt.
Oh
Just
my
just
God.
just buy the house. It's fine. Right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That depends, but yeah.
Yes, I get it. Yes, I'm not saying just go buy a bad deal. I'm just saying
Yes.
we fantasize how terrible things can be, and don't get me wrong, you can
Totally.
buy a house and it can be an absolute nightmare. But for the
Yeah.
most part, with the right amount of education, with the right amount of resources and help around you, you can avoid a lot of those problems and you're going to be okay.
Totally.
Right? And just teach people how to get out of their own way. And then seeing the light bulb come on and realizing, "Oh crap, like yeah, I did that and I can do this." And then they just start going. It's just so cool. It's so cool to see.
I love it.
Um,
Yeah.
because we all had that feeling, like when we did our first deal and we kind of fell in love and the light bulb went off and we're like, "Oh, like this is a thing. I'm gonna go do this thing." Right? Like it's just cool seeing that
Yeah.
in people. Um, I enjoy. I kind of talked about it a little bit, man. I just love driving down neighborhoods. I can on my drive to work. I drive past houses that we've renovated and seeing knowing what they were before and seeing families
Yeah.
playing in the yard or enjoying something like that, like you revitalized your community. You made a difference to a family. Like, I don't know, that just feels
Mm.
great. I just love that.
Yeah.
It's just cool. It's just super cool to me.
I definitely say that, like, anybody who's doing renovations is doing God's work. Like, I mean, it's
Yeah,
just it's a lot, like, these homes
yeah,
could just die, and a lot of
yeah,
times people let them go so far that
yeah,
really it only takes a special person that's gonna take it back, bring it
yeah,
back to life, and it's hard work.
yeah, it
So,
is.
yeah.
It's stressful.
Yeah.
It's stressful,
Okay, I wanna
but
hear
all life is
about
stressful. You just get to pick what stress you want.
yeah, I know Brandon Turner says that. We
Yeah.
get to pick our hard, right? Yes,
Mhm.
but sometimes we choose too much hard.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, I wanna hear about how it was to start working with your wife. Like,
Mhm,
I remember your story about, like, waking up in the middle of the night and being stressed and realizing, like, you needed to find a way to provide for your family,
mhm,
and that got you down the rabbit hole of real estate.
mhm.
Was your wife on board right away? Because
Man.
I know that she is, like, a right hand in design now, right? So
Mhm,
she's doing a lot of that with you.
mhm.
Yeah, curious to hear how it was to get her on board.
Yeah. Uh, man, I would not be here today without her. It just wouldn't. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that there was a point during that journey of before we did our first deal where I was going to quit. Um,
Mm,
to make a really long story short, I was all gung ho. I ended up meeting with a mentor at the time, and he basically crushed all my hopes and dreams. But he made really good points, and I was like, "He's right. I'm not ready. I shouldn't do this. I'm jumping in too soon. I'm gonna, this is I'm not. I shouldn't be doing this."
mm,
And she heard me out, and she looked at me, and she said, "I hear you, but he's not you. You feel like God put you on this path. Go do what you said you were going to do." And
mm.
I haven't looked back since. So that was the first time she picked me up and put me back on the horse. Uh,
That was about once a week?
yeah, right. And now, and
Uh,
then when I finally got it to it, and I did my first deal, or when I had my first deal under contract, and we just the only way I could get the money in the time frame I needed to get the money was to borrow it from a 401k. Um, that was the only way we were going to be able to close this deal in time because I had to close this deal in 30 days. This guy was going to lose this opportunity if he didn't, and so uh, and by the time I had come to her with the idea, we only had about 3 weeks left, and so I didn't have a 401k, I didn't have any savings, and so
yeah.
I had to go to her and say, "Hey, we need to borrow 20 grand from your 401k for us to make this a reality. This first rental property that this first house we're gonna buy that I just learned about real estate less than 90 days ago, and now I
Yeah.
need you to give me some of your retirement savings that you worked hard and started saving up for before you met me in order for us to buy this house and do this thing I don't know what I'm doing with." And without hesitation, instantly, she was like, "Yeah, got it. Let's do it." And she
Wow.
we had access to the money, we bought the house, and because of that, we're here now. I wouldn't be here talking to you without her. And so, even if she wasn't on board with real estate, she was on board with me, and I'm lucky.
Mm, I feel like I wanna have a cry about this. That's so sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
So what point did she get into the design? Was that, like, immediate? That you're like, "I don't
Yeah,
know anything
yeah.
about this.
Yeah, because
Make it look pretty."
she was like, "I've seen your suggestions on home decor in our house, so I think I'll take
Step
it
in here.
from here with that
Yeah.
stuff." And so I make a lot of the decisions now, sometimes on properties, but
Yeah.
I owe it all to her showing me that what I originally liked was trash. So so
Okay.
she
It
is
didn't start at
yeah,
Gucci. Okay, we got
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, she's been involved with that from the beginning. She has an eye for it. She loves doing it. Um, and every time she wants to do something that I think is crazy cuckoo and nobody's gonna like, yeah, I look at it and I go, "That's beautiful." So, what do I know?
Cool. Okay, so you're not just working off of the same templates.
Yeah.
You add a little pizzazz to some of them, right?
Oh, yeah, no, they're all different. They're all different.
Okay, that's super fun. It
Yeah,
keeps it creative.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, we're basically wrapped up here unless there's something specific that I didn't ask you that you wanna talk about. Otherwise, I'll let you just tell people about you.
Oh, no, I am great. I am, here's it, uh, I'm grateful for you for allowing me to be a part of your book. I am proud of
Thank
you
you.
for going on this journey of doing this on your own and putting your gifts out there to the world. And that's hard and overwhelming and scary, frankly, because I'm hosting my first conference this year, and I have this fear in the pit of my stomach that no one's going to pay me to come see me or what I have to offer. And I think writing a book comes with very similar feelings, like who's going to buy this thing
Totally.
that I feel like I want to put out to the world and help people. So I want you to know that I'm proud of you for taking on this scary journey and doing what you feel like you're supposed to do and you're called to do for other people, regardless of what it may or may not turn out like for you. Um, and I wish you nothing but the best with this journey. You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, it took a long time. This one
Mhm.
was a hard one for me. The
Mhm.
last book somehow came together in, like, 3 months and then another 3 months of editing, and it was just, like it had a life of its own, and I
Mhm.
also had a co-author, and I think I had to really overcome a lot to, like,
Mhm.
do this by myself and even self-publish.
Yeah,
So, it means a lot. You've always been a big supporter. I appreciate it.
happy
Thank
to.
you.
Anything you need.
Okay, well, where can people find out more about you if they wanna
Yeah,
hear all
best.
about Henry Washington and what he's up to and this conference?
Yeah, yeah. The best way to find out more about me is just to follow me on Instagram. I'm at the Henry Washington on Instagram, or you can go to my website, which is seeyouattheclosingtable.com, spelled out like it is behind me, SEEYOUAT, theclosingtable.com.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and, I hope a lot of people come to this
Yeah,
conference.
thank you so much. I appreciate you.